In yet another brazen display of bias, the Chief Justice of the Islamabad High Court has yet again ruled against former Prime Minister Imran Khan by dismissing his application in which he sought to take back a case against the Election Commission of Pakistan. Mr. Khan originally filed the case months ago, which the Chief Justice of the Islamabad High Court Amir Farooq kept pending without a hearing. Mr. Khan, seeing the bias of Amir Farooq, wanted to withdraw this application and file it in the Lahore High Court. The application in this case pertained to Mr. Khan's false conviction in the Tosha Khana case, which the Supreme Court itself said included defects. The then Chief Justice Umar Ata Bandial in August said there were shortcomings in the judgment but would wait for the Islamabad High Court's decision on appeal, which the court has delivered today. This decision will delay an appeal by Mr. Khan prior to the general elections in February. Former Prime Minister Imran Khan, who has been illegally incarcerated now for 123 days, has said agencies are pressuring people into giving vile statements against him. Speaking through his lawyer, Barrister Umair Niazi, who met him inside of the Adiala jail, said a recent false statement by a religious preacher against Mr. Khan was due to pressure by the country's powerful agencies. Additionally, Mr. Khan expressed apprehensions that the Election Commission cannot conduct free and fair elections. Mr. Khan called upon the country's Supreme Court to intervene to ensure that elections take place on time and are free and fair. Various media reports have quoted regime-allied journalists and politicians calling for another delay in elections. The National Electric Power Regulatory Authority Tuesday approved a 3 rupee per unit increase in electricity prices, which will crush Pakistan's poor yet again, who've been grappling with record inflation. The power prices have consistently risen in the past 18 months as the country, which has not had a stable, credible government, tries to generate revenue. The country's exports, tax collection, and overall economy have significantly contracted, forcing the government to increase electricity and gas rates for revenue targets to meet the demands of the IMF. Electricity rate hikes have not only hit domestic consumers, but also industry. According to a BBC report, an estimated 700,000 workers have lost their jobs in recent years, following the closure of about 1,600 clothing factories in crisis-hit Pakistan. This amounts to a third of the country's textile factories, which contribute 60% to the country's total export earnings. Prior to the regime change operation through which the then Prime Minister Imran Khan's government was overthrown, the country had hit record textile exports and the economy was growing at 6%. UN officials have warned that the risk of atrocities is growing in Gaza, with Palestinians stuck in deepening horror as Israel intensifies its assault on the enclave. Speaking at a news conference on Wednesday, Volker Turk, UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, urged Israel, Hamas, and international actors with influence to prevent atrocity crimes as Israel's advance into the southern Gaza leaves displaced Palestinians with nowhere to run. Quote, Palestinians in Gaza are living in utter horror, end quote. Turk continued, describing the displacement and the systemic deprivation of millions of Palestinians who are surviving in unsafe, overcrowded, and unsanitary conditions with no security. Quote, my colleagues describe the situation as apocalyptic. In these circumstances, there's a heightened risk of atrocity crimes, end quote, he stated. Israel has killed over 15,000 Palestinians and displaced millions in Gaza.